Aurora gives us near zero lag replicas inside a region.
But what if your users hit, or DR requirements hit, are spread across the world?
What happens when your entire AWS region goes down? Let's see how Aurora MySQL keeps your database alive, even across continents.
Here we are. We continuing with the AWS database series, and we are into the second session of our database. Okay. So far we have seen how Aurora gives us near zero, replicas inside a region, right? And that's fantastic. But here's the catch: what happens if your users or your disaster recovery requirements are spread across the world? Okay. Um, so imagine this now. You have your primary cluster, let's say, is in AP or US East 1, okay, and your customers are, let's say, in Singapore or Europe, okay, right? So now when you have customers spread across the globe, every read and write from those distant region must travel thousands of miles back to let's say US, right? um, and what does that mean? That means what it brings higher network latency, and if for any reason, this region goes down, right, probably, let's say, due to a regional outage, right, and the impact will be what your entire application will stop. Okay. So now you have two pain points here. One is the global latency, right? Okay. So let's jot down the global latency here. Okay. So two pain points basically, right? Where we'll try and solve it. First is the global latency, right? Where users far from the primary region, right, get slower responses, right? And second point, uh, regional dependency, we can say regional dependency. Okay, now what does that mean, regional dependency? If one region fails, you're going to lose your production database, right? And so this is the problem statement, right? And if I talk about the impact of this problem, right, or without a cross region replica, right, your read traffic, right, from other continents keeps hitting the primary region. That brings what high latency and higher cost, right? um, I can also say that you have no immediate DR plan. What does that mean? That restoring from S3 snapshot to another region could take hours, right? um, so business continuity, global scaling, will become quite difficult, you know right? So um, so 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 we looked at what is the problem statement, what is the pain points, and what is the impact of this problem, right? Okay. um, um, okay, just a moment, right? Let me put down the points here so that you can have it as a reference. Impact of the problem, these problem, right? Okay, one is what the read traffic will be from other continents, right? Read traffic from other continents, right, will bring what high latency basically, and higher cost. Okay. And this is I'm talking about when you don't have a cross region replica, which we'll talk about it, right? What does that mean? That you do not have any immediate DR plan, right? And third is there is no, I mean, business no there is, I mean, business continuity, and you know a global scaling will become quite difficult without cross region replica, right? All right. So this is without cross region, right? Okay. Now let's look at what is the solution we have. Okay. So solution is that Aurora MySQL Aurora supports MySQL, right? So Aurora MySQL So AWS basically gives us a solution, basically, right? What it gives is that you create a MySQL read replica of Aurora cluster in another region altogether. Okay, in another region altogether. So what this uses is that it uses the MySQL bin log, basically. Okay, so let's look at, let's say you have a um, okay, let's say, assuming, let's say you have a region A. Okay, right, let's assume this is my region A, right, and let's say it is in Mumbai. All right, and what is this? This is my primary, um, what is output? Yeah, this is my primary, basically primary Aurora cluster. Okay, and I have another region, right, and what is that region? Let's assume this is my region B, right, it is in Singapore. All right, so yeah, so this is my read only replica. If you see here, right, this is my read only replica. Okay, right, read replica cluster also, we can say that. Okay, right, so I'm going to create a replica here, right? Okay, now when I create a replica from, sorry, from primary Aurora cluster to the read only replica cluster, right, and as uh, you know we talked about asynchronous and synchronous way of what replication. So this uses async or asynchronous bin replication, bin lock replication, I'm saying. Okay, so it uses what? Asynchronous bin log replication. And please note that this read only replica cluster can have up to what, 15 local Aurora replicas for read scaling, basically. Okay, so you can have maximum up to 15. Okay, so so what so as I said, right, AWS brings up a solution where it allows what, to create MySQL read replica, right? This is my, let's say, a MySQL read replica. All right, so as I said, so let me also give you, if somebody doesn't understand what is bin log based replication, right? So of course this replication uses the MySQL bin log based asynchronous replication to ship all the changes from the primary region to the secondary region, right? Okay, so this, because this is my what, primary, that means this being, this is primary Aurora cluster, right? It gives you it, I mean, this is for what, read and write, right? And the region B Singapore is for what, cross region replica cluster, that is only for the read only. Okay, probably you can go back and check my previous session on Aurora DB where I explain architecture. You'll get the clarity. Now all the writes in Mumbai are sent what, asynchronously to Singapore through binlog replication. Okay, so this becomes so look, inside a region, Aurora replicas use a shared storage layer. If you can see here, right, within the same region, being within the same region, they uses what, same shared storage layer, right? And they replicate redo logs within seconds. But across regions, right, being this is across regions, however, that shared storage doesn't extend. Okay, so AWS falls back to what, MySQL asynchronous bin log replication. So I mean, of course, it's still asynchronous but very reliable for your global DR. Okay, and if I you know and this also has a capability of that, let's say if your region fails, primary region, So it has that capability of, you can promote this replica region B, right, as a new primary. That also you can do it. Okay, so it's like a DR promotion. Okay, for your read replica. So there are a lot of benefits of this setup if apart from promoting the cross region replica, right? And also, right, your app can resume operation quickly without restoring from the backup, because it's just pointing toward the read only replica cluster, right? And also it brings up, so let me put down the benefits of this. Okay, so one is the benefit, as I said, DR, right? Second is the global read scaling, right? When I say global read scaling, that means users in other regions can read locally from the replica cluster, reducing latency dramatically, right? Also isolation, I can if I can write, right, because workloads in other regions like analytics or report can run safely on the replica without stressing the production writer, basically. So yeah, so that's the, you know uh, that's about, MySQL replicas, topic, right? A quick note on what it brings, the capability. uh, and if you want me to, take you through a key difference between these two, between the Aurora replica and MySQL replica. Aurora replica stays inside a region. Of course, it's super fast, less than 10 millisecond, right? Sub 10 millisecond. But in case of MySQL replicas, because it's spread across the region, it supports cross region asynchronous replication. A bit of lag, of course, will be there, but great for DR, right? So DR, absolutely, it's great for DR. Okay, so if your architecture needs multi-region resilience, or for that matter, low latency reads, right, cross-region MySQL replicas, you know, are your go-to pattern. Okay, let me know if you have any questions on this. Right. So please note that, if I talk about MySQL bin log replication, what does that mean? It's asynchronous only, right? Okay. Yeah. Um, um, so, and please note that, for this replicas, for the cross region replicas, right now I believe it supports MySQL at this moment, I guess. Yeah. So it's MySQL compatible, or not PostgreSQL. Okay. Mm, okay. All right.
Join our Master Cloud Engineer program and transform your career in 30 days.